So before LEGO Furry Theme Legends of Chima fully ended, it got into LEGO Dimensions with 3 fun packs. They are Laval with Mighty Lion Rider, Cragger with Swamp Skimmer, and Eris with Eagle Interceptor. They have somewhere around 45 to 59 pieces. Now these are the characters' abilities. All of them have great and fitting ability, well besides for 2 which are Laval with Laser Deflector and Cragger with Hazard Protection. They are really odd ability for them to have. Laval used his sword to deflect the laser. If he could do that, then why not the other 2? And the same with Hazard Protection if it's because of the armor. As for the other abilities, Chima characters have an exclusive ability that is called Chi. When you have one of the Chima characters on your toy pad, enemies will drop Chi that will fill up the round meter that is on the top left of the HUD when you are playing as the Chima character. Plus, if you are in the Chima world, you can also get Chi from the Chi fountain. You can use the Chi to transfer it into an altar to activate something, or you can use it to power up to use the Super Strength ability. As for the design of the minifigures, you can tell what animal they are. The torso printing, besides half of Eris' torso, you can't see because of the armor piece. But the printing is great looking. It really have that royalty look. However, besides the leg printing, they all have the same torso printing, even though Eris being a bit different obviously, but it's still the same printing, only with a small bit of changes. But I'm disappointed that they had the last year Fire vs Ice uniform instead of their original uniform from the start of Chima, because they don't have fire ability to melt ice, and I'm pretty sure that the small amount of Chima fans would have loved the first year uniform being used. Moving on to the vehicles, all of them are 3 in 1, which is 3 instructions, but you can only choose 1 to build. Well, unless you buy extras. These are the abilities the vehicles have. Laval vehicle has the least ability out of the 3. Eris having more is expected because it's a flying vehicle, so it's gonna have flight dock and a cargo hook. But for the design of these, the front half of the first and the second model are very nice looking and really have that lion face, same with the third model. Though the 2x1 piece on the second model sticks out badly. While the back half, I wish there was a slope curved 2x2 or 1x2 on the exposed studs on the first model, but I like the fire piece that was added, like this model is meant to be a racing vehicle, which I question why speed isn't the first model ability. While the other 2 models are battle vehicles with the fire piece facing the front, and I really like that the third model is based on the Fire Lion, as it is obvious with the name and that it looks like a mini version of the Fire Lion set. I love that unlike the other Chima models, the first model you can put a minifigure on, and look like they're holding on for dear life. I like that the models used this wedge piece along with having a somewhat crocodile head look, but I don't like the flame pieces that are obviously forced on when they could maybe had used these flame pieces. The third model looks pretty unclean compared to the other two models, mostly the reason because of the ugly color scheme and those studs sticking out on the side. But ignoring the eyesore flame piece, the first and the second model are pretty good, but with the third model, I want a divorce. The first and the second models I think are the best out of the Chima Dimensions models. I really like the wings with a nice color scheme, even though the tree's orange sticks out just a bit. But for the third is no good. The wings on these are odd, and how the tail has those flame pieces are pretty eyesoring. To give credit, at least it obviously tried to be different from the other two models, with there being limitation. Heck, all three of the models have the same head. And speaking of limitation, you pretty much have noticed that all three of the packs 3-in-1 models are the same type of vehicle, instead of at least one of the model of the three in each of the three packs being a different type. This especially would be good for Laval's having one of the model being a different type of vehicle, due to his having the least ability. Same can go with Cragger. Overall, for collecting, I recommend them. They are pretty good, well, besides for two of the models. As for buying these for in-game, I only recommend getting one of them for the Chi ability. Specifically, I recommend Eris, since she have the most ability out of the three packs. But these fun packs get a Cup of Chi. Video not over, Polybag bonus. This is Worriz Fire Bike. It came out free on purchases over $50 around between August and September in the US, but in the UK was around July. Kind of odd with this promo since it isn't anything special, no exclusive printing pieces. Worriz has the same exact uniform as these guys, but he just doesn't have armor and weapons. Well, he does have 5G to put in the parts bin. As for the bike, it's pretty ugly and bland. I really don't like the connection of the handle. The two sides are different, one side connecting the wheels, other side the fire and blaster piece. Helps with it looking bad, especially with the back wheel cover and the front nut. Yeah, basically overall this thing is bad and I don't recommend it. It's obviously a part pack to anyone who gotten this for free. It gets a cup of parts.